Hi, friends. I don't know if anybody's on here. We're going to give a couple of minutes so people can log on. I know it's a little bit earlier than usual, but I kind of had to fit the schedule. I see a couple of people on here. Hi, Eric. How are you, mijo? Miss you guys. I hope you had a great Easter. We're going to give a few minutes to friends to join us. We're going to hear a song you guys know while they're coming in. Four friends. Who's here? Alyssa. Hi, Alyssa. I loved your story about the scooter. Was it fun? Great. Great. And I like the way that you're working on your sentences. I could see that you're copying it, but and remember to try to hear the sounds yourself. You're doing awesome. You're good, Eric. You had a good Easter. I'm glad. We're just giving a moment for some friends to come on. Like 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I missed all of you so much. Look what I was able to get from the class. My cup. Because you know, Miss Ayala drinks a lot of water, a lot of water. It's going to be a really nice day today, friends, and this week. So I really want you to try to go outside and run around. It won't be like we're in the playground, but we can try. Something maybe you like to do there. Maybe you could do it at home. We have a couple of friends here. Good morning. Good morning, Andrew. Andrew saying good morning, and his mom saying good morning to everybody. Thank you. We're going to start in just a minute. I was trying to get a little song so we could hear it, friends. We haven't heard our music together in quite a while. I've been listening to it. You can always go here onto my station and hear some of it. Okay, we have good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. Hi, Adam. Adam, we're glad you're here. Eric Fuentes is here. Adam is here. Alyssa is here. Andrew is here. Guess what? Almost all the red table is here. Awesome. Very good. Okay, so I have a little song we haven't heard in quite a while. Let's hopefully I could play it. Let's see. And I wanted to tell you, this is our friend Will I Am. But friends, guess what? He has a new song out. We're going to have to learn that one. See if you remember it. If what I am is what you need, I'll stay strong as you will be, and I will always be the best me that I could be. There's only one me, I admit. Have a dream, I'll follow it. It's up to me to try. Let me get my coffee. Getting stronger. Give you up. What I am is 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 special. There's nothing I can achieve because of myself. I believe in love. Only people live to keep on reaching out. Just keep getting stronger. Ain't nothing gonna bring us down. Never giving up, gotta go. Just because I know I'll keep getting stronger. What I am is what I am is what I am is what I am is what you are is what you are is special. Myself, I believe in. Girl. Good morning, friends. Okay, I'm sorry. I wanted to get my coffee when I was ready. So I want to say I hope you guys all had a really great spring break. We're going to be doing a couple of things, actually three things for sure. I'm going to go over a little bit of the lessons for this week. Some of you have already been giving me your evidence or showing me pictures and your videos of what you've been doing. So thank you so much. I want to be sure I go over it with moms and dads so they know how we're doing it and how it works. Um, the things that we're asking for. So a couple of announcements as always. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie is here too. Thank you. So Eric Fuentes is here. Alyssa is here. Thank you. Andrew Vince Cruz is here. Adam is here. And also Stephanie. So we're glad you guys are here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Some friends, like I said, they see it later on. I hope this is an okay time, friends. 9:30. We'll go as long as we can. I won't go past 10:30. It's just too much time for us. We'll do a little stretch if we have to. But I want to go over some information. If you do not have a computer, you know we have Chromebooks at school. Si no tienes las computadoras, si necesitas uno. Today, you can go online right after we finish here. I would go on to BPUSD.com or our Walnut site, and you could register to get a Chromebook. Mrs. Peregrina and Miss Anaya will be there on Thursday to give them out. They cannot give out any if you have not registered. So they're encouraging you to do that today. So after we're done, go on to Walnut or to the BPSD to check it out. Thank you for those of you that have been giving me your addresses. I'm just checking to make sure I know where you are. Some of you actually live kind of close to me, so I'm really excited. As I've told some of the parents before, I live right here in Baldwin Park. I live on a street called Idaho, and it's between Ramona and Fraser, kind of near Baldwin Park Boulevard, but that's near off of Merced, kind of. So I might see some of you around, or that's why, because I live here. And then also, please, friends, if you haven't given me your address, give it to me. And then the attendance is very, very important. So I need you to be checking in. We are keeping track. If I have not heard from some of you since the first day, and you're looking at this now, and you haven't checked in, because I do check the messages, you could also text me. They will be calling because that attendance is mandatory. So it's kind of important that you participate. Okay, that's all of those kinds of things I want to talk about. What we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do 3 things, usually going over the lessons. Our theme this week, friends, which I'm really excited about, and I wish we were at school so I could show you more of it. Our theme, especially in our language arts, is about our country and where we live. And we've talked a lot about that, friends. We live in a country, and I'm going to try to do my best to draw it, and it's not going to be the most perfect, but I'm going to try. This is when Miss Ayala would take out her big map. Remember? And I would show it to you. So remember, it's not going to be perfect, but our country kind of looks like this. And then here goes into Mexico. This is the USA. We've talked about that. And then actually, it's all hooked up here. Sorry, this is all Mexico because Texas touches it. So I'm going to put this as a little, that's another country, Mexico, United States. Remember, we live right here in California. Remember my friend Teresa? She lives not in this state, she lives in this state right here in New Mexico. And remember Eric Antonio? He's from up here. There's some lakes here. He's from the state over here called Indiana. Remember? And this is United States. And over here is Florida, New York. Up on top here, friends, is another country. I'm just going to draw lines. And that's Canada. So we're going to be talking about the United States of America. We know a lot about it already, friends. We know who's the president. We know who the president is. His name is Donald Trump. We also know, friends, that we have, remember our little map had little colored pieces on it? I would bring it out and I would show you. And all the little colored pieces are called states. And in our state, friends, our state is California. All the little states, there's 50 if you remember the flag, remember our flag, the stars, there's one star for every state. We've talked about this, especially when we talked about our American symbols. Every state, friends, the president's in charge of the whole country, the United States of America. We call it USA. But remember, every little piece, every state is called, every state has its own leader too. They're called a governor, and the governors all work together to help the president. Now, in every state, we know this is when I would bring out my other map that is just of California. Remember, that's our yellow piece. And we always say here's Baldwin Park, and then there's some mountains, and then here's Los Angeles, and here's the beach, and all of this is the rest of the country. But here in California, friends, we have a governor. His name is Gavin Newsom. And here there's a bunch of little cities, and we live in one. It's called Baldwin Park, California. Now we know who's in charge of our city. Do you remember? He's a good friend of ours. Mm-hmm. Ooh, good morning, Dominic. Dominic is here. Dominic, we're just talking about our country. This is when I would have brought out my maps, but I don't have them right here. Wouldn't that have been cool? Brought it out. And then I'm just talking about California and how this is all right. Hi, Chris. Chris is here too, friends. Just talking about the country. That's our theme this week. And looking at our state of California, and our city is Baldwin Park. And that every city, the leader or the one in charge is called a mayor. And our mayor is Mayor Manuel Lozano. Remember, we talked about that. And we said it's Mayor Lozano, and he's got 4 friends. There's 5 of them that help run the city. But we know we've met some of those people. We know Mayor. He's the one that's in charge of Baldwin Park. Not many people can say they've met him in kindergarten. That's awesome. And then he's got other people that run departments. Remember, we met Mr. Gutierrez, who runs Public Works, does all of the streets. We met Mr. Garcia, who is the planner. So he'll say, yay, that's a good building, or no, I wouldn't build that there. Or do you really want to put that building or that store next to that store? They're the same. We also met the commissioners. We met Mr. Garrido. We met Mr. Member Edwin Borges, whose birthday is today. So I don't know if he will come on in, but we want to say happy birthday to Edwin. He came to read to our class. And then we also met our CEO, Mr. Shannon Yahtzee. He's the one that runs the city when the mayor is not available. And our mayor, like we said, is Mayor Manuel Lozano. So friends, to run our city and to run our country and to run our state and to run our country, they have to kind of know what's going on. And during this time, friends, they're really working hard to make sure that all of us are safe and that all of us are well. So it's really important, you guys, that we need to listen to the rules and we need to adhere by that and stay home. And I know some of you are like, oh, I'm just going to go to my grandma's. But if you're not always at grandma's, I would really encourage you not to go. I know it's very hard. And if you're not usually at your cousins, then I wouldn't go, because you don't know, what you might bring to them or they might bring to you, and then you carry to somebody else. So we're going to try our best to do the stay home order, and then also to wear a mask. Now, I'll just let you know I have several masks. We're going to talk about it. So, I have this mask that Sergeant Real brought me. It's one of the N95s, the police officer. They also brought me, well, I also have other ones. So I also have this really cute one that somebody made me. I think it's awesome. Dodger blue, of course, with baseball. This is my first one. It has the material, but look, they knitted it. This was the very first one I had. The one I've been wearing most recently is the other one I received from the police officers, and it actually has like a little kind of like a breathing thing in there, and it fits really good. So I usually wear that one when I go. If I go out, and when I go out, friends, I go for a walk, and then I come on back. So when we're talking about our country, we had a cool story. There was a cool story in our book about a girl named Anna, and she went to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., friends, is over here, and that is where on the east, this is also water. This is water, and this is water on this side. Over here in Washington, D.C., that's where the President of the United States lives. And she went to go do a little visit there. Her name was Anna, and she saw a lot of cool things on her trip. Our letters this week, friends, that we're talking about are letter Y and Z. Our last letters of the alphabet, but we're going to be coming back and revisiting. So our first letter is Y, and if you remember, the sound of it is yeah. Remember the yo-yo? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Try it. Good job. And our last letter is the letter Z, like in our friend Zoe. And what's that sound? Do you remember? Let's show everybody. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Good job, friends. Good job. We do have a word, 2 words this week. 2 words this week. I'm going to use this again, so I'm going to turn it around for a minute. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to use it for. No, actually, let me just use it. Our first word is, and if you were able to see the videos of those high frequency words, our first word is this, this. I like this dress. I like this marker. I like this classroom. I like this phone. This. So you're talking about right here. This. Can you say it with me? This. This. Remember the TH? Your tongue right here. Blow some air. Put your hand. You should feel it. Everybody, put your tongue right there. This. Blow the air. This. Them. There. This. Good job. Good job, friends. This. Our next word is what. And WH does the sound of W. W, w. And I remember Monroe was doing that sound with his brother. They sent me a video, and I heard his mom, and I said, oh, that's a good thing to remember. WH, w. Sounds just like W. W, w, w. Remember, like window? W. So WH makes that W sound. W. AT, it's not at, wat. It's w, w, what, what. And what, if you remember, is a word you use in a question. What, what. Faith! Faith, I'm glad you're here. Faith is here, friends. Hi, Faith. We're glad you're here. You can always go back and see a little bit of the beginning. We were just going over our letters this week and our words, this and what. I'll go back and touch base about the other things later. We were talking about our country. Glad you're here, friends. Remember, what is a question word? What? What are you doing? What do you like to eat? What are you going to wear? I want you to think of a sentence or a question right now with what. What? I'm going to type something here. I put, what is your name? What are you doing? Oh, I didn't even use a question mark. Sorry. What are you doing? If you have one, you can tell me. What is your favorite color? Do you remember mine? I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it, France, and I'm wearing my teacher shirt today. So those are our words this week, and we're going to see them. And you might have been able to go on to the Walnut School website, and that's where you can get the links to our videos. So if you go on to walnuteagles.net, walnuteagles.net, and you go into the distance learning, mom and dad can do that. Distance learning, then that will show you in the lesson plans. It's like blue color. Click it and the videos will go on there. There's videos for letter Y, there's videos for letter Z, there's videos for this and what. And Mrs. Macias and I, we planned our plans together, but she had put those on because she said, oh, I use those and I liked them. We've never used them because we've drawn everything, but we needed to use it now. So friends, in your lessons this week, we're starting a circle map. And I know your moms and dads are probably saying, what is that? So I'm trying my best to use what I have here because, and mom and dad, don't worry about the colors. There are specific colors, but we're just trying to do our best to do what we have to do. So, and the boys and girls know that when we do a circle map, um, it's one of our thinking maps. In our classroom, we have in the back all of our thinking maps, and I maybe we'll add those on there. They've probably have seen them before, but your boys and girls are familiar with it. So when we do a thinking map, we'll do several. I want to show you what it is before you see it. Friends, we're going to do a circle map this week. I remember they want you to do a circle map of the letter Z. They want you to give me 5 words of Y. Okay. And I want to thank Alyssa because she sent me her words in it. Those were good words. And I had some of those words. And I was like, all right. So we'll make our list. We'll make our list of our Y words that you could have worked on yesterday. Today they want you to make a circle map of Z, but we're going to do a circle map with Y. We could do it of Z, but this is going to be of Y. So when we do a circle map, moms and dads and friends, we always make, remember friends, our frame of reference. Mom and dad, friends, we're using the same kind of words to describe or to talk about the circle map because your boys and girls are going to use this in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade. If they have brothers and sisters watching us right now, they're like, oh, the frame of reference. We all know it. We're all learning it. When you do it, first you draw the frame of reference. I always do it first because I usually forget it. When I'm doing a circle map, un mapa circular así, un círculo, you always write your idea first. So we're going to do the letter Y. So I'm going to write capital Y and a little y. If you only did one, that's okay. Draw or write what you're going to do first, then make the circle. Then make the circle. The boys and girls know we don't want to make a little circle and then it doesn't fit. So remember, friends, write your idea, then the circle. Then we're going to make a bigger circle. You do this with pencil. Color doesn't matter. I use color because they mean something. If you go in our classroom, when we go back to our classroom, you're going to see circle maps. You're going to see other thinking maps that have a frame of reference most of the time, and they have certain colors. I always write in black. You're going to write in pencil. The boys and girls do theirs in pencil. Circle maps are used to put all your ideas, all your ideas. So if we're talking about Christmas, we put all our Christmas words, right, friends? We did family. We put all about family. We made one about kindergarten. What do we do in kindergarten? Eat, play, run, recess, lunch. We put all that here. All your ideas. We also, what do we want to be when we grow up? We made a circle map, all our ideas. Some are written words, some are drawn with pictures, or we cut them out, we write the label. The last one we did, friends, we did two, weather, and we put the weather. I just actually found that on my phone because I took a picture of it. And the other one was transportation, how you get around vehicles. So we made a circle map, all your ideas. So we want to put all of our ideas of why. Now, I don't usually use so what, so why. So what are we doing? So why are we doing it? But I'm going to do it today so moms and dads can see. So what? And here, if you notice, I'm using like a red. That's the color we use. So what are we doing? We're writing our words with why. Writing words with why. Doesn't have to be detailed, totally, but you're telling me, what are you doing it for? This helps. You don't have to write it. This helps if you say it. You could say, why, so why are we doing this circle map, friends? Oh, because we want to put all our ideas of why. Oh, that's good. You don't have to write this out, but I want them to know, why are they making a circle map of why? Why are they making a circle map of the Z? So I have the ideas of the Z. So I have the ideas of why. We're writing it. We want them to verbalize it, say it. So the other one we know a lot about is our blue color, and this is our POV. Moms and dads, I'm just writing this because this is what I would do in class. I want them to know what it is. You don't have to do this part. You're going to do the why, okay? But I want to go over it with them. Whose point of view is this, friends? Whose point of view? Who's doing this? No, not me. Right. Same thing. Walnut School, right? We are Walnut School. We're room 1, and we put kindergarten. We put room 1 kindergarten because moms and dads, there are different kindergarten rooms at Walnut, and there are different room 1s at different schools. So if somebody was to see this, they go, oh, look, this was done at Walnut School, and they were kindergarten, and they were room 1. No question about it. So let's get to it. Our why words, okay? I heard some, you can draw them. If you can't and you would just want to write the word, that's great. So I heard yes as a word. And I'm going to put a happy face because that means right on, yes. Or you can do the thumbs up if you can do it. I heard, oh gosh, I'm not a good drawer of it right now, friends. So let me try to see. You know why, friends? Miss Ayala didn't visualize it first before she drew it. It's yarn. I should have visualized, remember? Get a picture in my head. Yes, yarn. You. Oh, a good one. It's a color. The color of the sun, yellow. And usually if you have a crayon, we maybe would make a little color of it or a marker, yellow. Yes, yarn, you, yellow. Yuck. Yeah, you could sound it out. Yeah. Uh, uh. Yeah. Uh, what is it? Could be a what? See? It'd be a K, but it's at the end. Remember, usually it's what? Both. Yuck. Yuck. So I have yes. And just like I'm touching it, moms and dads, we're going to go over it with our boys and girls. Read them with me. Yes. Yarn. You. Yellow. Yuck. We also have some other words. Yet. Yam. Yak. That's like an animal. Some really great words. Friends, you're being asked to do a circle map of the letter Z. Okay? What we did ask you to do, but I used the letter Y so you would have an example. Another color we use in our thinking maps, moms and dads, is this one, green. Usually after I'll write our sources. Sources are important because as your boys and girls get older and they start to write papers, they need to know where did they get the information from. So where did they get this information from? Maybe they could say mom. Maybe dad helped them. Maybe they saw pictures. Maybe from a book. Maybe they remembered it from the class. So remember. So this is what we do in the class. So as your child begins to, we use this as a thinking map to help us think because we know what we're trying to do. We know who's making or creating this map of ideas. We know where they got their information. So my last question here is, so why? So why did we do it? So why? We know what we're doing, but why did we do it? So why? So why did we make this why circle map? To have a group. Oh, and this is what I always tell the boys and girls. This is our thinking map. So it's okay to scratch it out. I don't have the boo-boo tape and I would probably not use it. Just cross out to have list of why words. Now, am I asking you to do all of this? So what, so why, sources, and point of view? No, no. We're just doing this. You're going to be doing it. I believe it's with the Z, the letter Z. Well, why are we doing it? Because that's how I would teach the lesson, and that's your boys and girls are familiar with it. Now, you're going to be doing a list of Y words. You're going to be doing a circle map of Z, I believe, this week. In your writing, some of you have done that for me. So thank you so much. Something that you have done, and something you like to do in the rain. Just a really quick reminder. So that's our little group of Y. Really quick reminder. And a lot of you have followed. I think the writing lesson really helped us. Remember, dot to dot line. Above is the picture. Here, if you need the lines, go for it. Some of you are using lined paper already. That's totally fine. Remember, just two to equal this. Your name will be first, Miss Ayala, and you will write your name. The date, today is 4/21/2020, and I'm going to lose some space there, 2020. And then you can begin to answer the writing prompt. What do you like to do in the rain? Something that you've done. Those are the two for these days. And then to remember to show the picture. Remember in the picture, friends, even if it's a narrative, talking about something about yourself, or it's expository, telling us about something you like or don't like, something that you do in the rain. You might like it, you may not like it. Well, actually, the question is, what do you like to do in the rain? You need to tell me why. Because I like to run in the rain. I like it because it's fun, or I like it because it's wet. But in your picture, I need to have three things. Who's in the picture? Where are you? What are you doing? We need to remember that in our writing. Now, looking at the time, ooh, we're doing pretty well. The writing kind of went a little bit only because of the thinking map, which is fine, which is so fine. Now, we're going to do a little bit of math. It's a little kind of review, but before we do that, um, I uh, I have something to share with you. I have a story, and this is kind of a special story, friends, because I know this is a tough time for some of us because we're at home. We want to go out. It's not vacation. It is not vacation. We had vacation. Okay, we're back. And I remember telling us, even when we were at Christmas time, friends, I remember telling you, when we come back from Christmas, we're going to work and we're going to work hard because we have to be ready for first grade. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that you're there. So some of us are on here watching right now, some of us are not. They're going to come on later, but I need them to understand that we need to work hard. This isn't fun. This isn't, well, we'll make it fun, but it's not a game. We need to be ready. We need to be ready. We need to know our words. We need to be writing. We need to be uh, listening, and all of those things. You can soar at home. You can what? You can show responsibility. You can be responsible for your things. You can put them away. You can work. You can um, when mom and dad are asking you, let's go and do some work. We're going to do it without complaining. We're going to we're going to offer help. If mom and dad need some help, we need to do that. Okay. And we're going to act safely. We will not be going outside. We will not be crying about it. Um, if we're going to go outside, then fine. We're going to walk around. Maybe we'll ride our scooter. We'll play basketball because I've seen a lot of fun things you guys are doing. I'm glad. Let's try to even maybe if you can try to jump rope. Hey, that's something fun too. Hopscotch. Um, we might add that on something for you guys to do. Keep tying your shoes. But all of those things, if you're doing them, act safely. I go outside. I told you I go out once a day to do my walk. I walk around here. I've got to get outside. I need to breathe fresh air, but I'm being safe. I don't touch anybody, which is hard for Miss Ayala because Miss Ayala loves to hug everybody, and I can't. I can't. And I have to wear my mask at all times, and I keep distance. You have to do it. That's acting safe. And all of our friends who have been sending the videos, I've heard them say those same things. I've heard them say those same things. And there's going to be more coming. I know that Officer Herrera is going to be coming on here to talk to you too. And I know that Chief McLean will probably be doing it. And I know there's some other people from the office that they're doing their video to send to you, but they want you to act safe. And our last one is to be respectful to others and ourselves. Okay, we need to take care of ourselves and be respectful. Okay, and we can do that. We can do that. So I know this is a tough time. We're going to work hard at it. Now, you know, friends, that Miss Ayala has a lot of friends, and I have a lot of friends of people who are people that I taught. So I have to tell you a little story. This has been a really tough time because I can't see anybody, and I'm sure you can't either. And a lot of my friends um, who were my students send me messages, tell me stuff, and it's been a little bit tough for them because they're not near their family. So I have to tell you a little story because you guys know I tell a story. So I had a student. He doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm going to send it to him. I had a student a long time ago. I've been teaching for 27 years. So the boys and girls that I first taught, friends, are already 32, 33 years old. Officer Camacho is one of them, remember? And Officer Rodas is another one that I taught a long time ago. They're big and they're married and they have families and they have kids and all of that. So one of my students I taught, I want to say my third year of teaching. So he's about 30 now. His name's Michael Paul Reyes Jr. And Michael Paul Reyes Jr. Is the oldest grandson of their family, and he decided when he got big he was going to join the military. So here's his picture, and I had it on my refrigerator. And this is actually he was an airman in the Air Force. He's since been out and he lives, now he's living with his wife and everything. So this was actually 11 years ago, friends. 11 years ago, Michael was 21. No, I'm sorry. 11, 18, something like that. 19. Yeah, 19. Wow, that's a long time ago. And I have a picture of him and me now. And if I have a chance, I'll look for it. But I want to tell you, Michael always would come to open house. Michael would come everywhere. And I'm telling you because this is really hard time for everybody. And it's been hard for Michael. And the story I'm going to read is from Michael. And I think you're really going to like it. But Michael got some bad news. His grandpa got really sick from the virus. And he passed away. He's an angel now. And it's really hard for him because he couldn't see him. So this story is for Michael and for Mr. Martinez. And I picked this story for two reasons. Well, three reasons. The number one reason is because when I saw it, I went, oh, sounds like it's a grandpa story. Oh, it's Sergeant Rayal. I'm in class. I'm in class. Okay, Sergeant Rayal saying hi, everybody. Okay, I'll talk to you after. That was nice. He called and say hi. He must have known I was being sad. So this story I picked for three reasons. Number one, it's about a grandpa, and I thought of Michael Paul Reyes Jr. And the second reason is because it's written by a man called Benjamin Alida Sites. Now, if you remember, friends, I read a story during class about a grandma Fina, and she had all those umbrellas. And I said, "Oh, I love this story because my aunt's name is Fina." And I said, "She's a grandma." And that's my dad's sister. So I love that story that Mr. Alide Sainz wrote about Grandma Fina. And he's the same one that wrote this story, Benjamin Alide Sainz. And I met him. And the other reason is because it's about a grandpa. Mr. Benjamin wrote it. And number three, look at the pictures, friends. The pictures, it's made of clay. The illustrator created the pictures with clay. How awesome is that? You're going to love this story. Are we ready? And then we're going to do a little math and we're going to be done. It's called A Gift from PapaDiego. A Gift from PapaDiego. Now, PapaDiego it's in English and Spanish, but I'm going to read the English one. PapaDiego, Papa is what he calls his grandpa. Some of us might say grandpa, abuelito, tata, dad. Some people do. But this is a gift from a gift from PapaDiego. A gift from PapaDiego. Love it. Look at that. It's made of clay. He made those pictures of clay. Here's the words, here's the picture. You ready? Little Diego thought of his PapaDiego all the time. He thought of PapaDiego when he woke up in the morning. He thought of him when he ate his lunch. And he thought of him when he saw the sun setting in the west. When little Diego learned the meaning of a new word, he wanted to run and tell his grandfather. When he discovered, oh, it's not that I, sorry. When he discovered that tadpoles turned into frogs, he wanted to ask his grandfather to tell him why. Maybe little Diego loved his grandfather as if he were life itself because he was named after him. Or maybe it was because they bore born on the same day of the year. Or maybe it was because little Diego could sense he was the old man's hope. That was what his grandfather had told him. Little Diego, eres mi esperanza, you're my hope. But they lived in different countries, and little Diego did not see his grandfather very often, and that might be something that happens to some of you. You don't get to see your grandparents all that often because of where they live and until they come and visit. If I could see my PapaDiego every day, little Diego would say to himself, then everything would be as perfect as the sky full of summertime. Yeah, there's a little frog turning from a tadpole. He had so much he wanted to tell his Papa Diego. One day, when little Diego was thinking of his Papa Diego, he asked his father, "How come Papa Diego never comes to visit?" Diego's father did his best he could to explain. "Your Papa Diego is getting old and Chihuahua is far away. Can't Papa Diego just get in a car and drive here?" "No, mijo. Papa Diego doesn't know how to drive and he doesn't even have a car. Can't he just come on a bus?" Well, his father thought for a moment, maybe, but you see, sometimes it's hard for him to cross the border. Little Diego didn't understand anything about the borders, but he pretended to understand. "Oh," he said, "well, then why don't we just go and bring him? Mijo, Papa Diego likes living in Mexico. It's his home. He wouldn't like living here." So he's asking him all of these. He looks so sad. Look at his face. He's asking, why can't he? And there's the cactus, the nopal. Beautiful. "Well, can we move to Chihuahua then, Papa?" His father smiled. "No, Dieguito, we live here. El Paso, Texas is our home. Don't you love Papa Diego?" "Of course I do. He's my father. I love him like you love me. But we live in different cities, in different countries. Sometimes that happens. Huh, who knows? Maybe someday you'll want to live somewhere else, maybe in a different country. But that won't mean that you don't love me." "No, Papa," little Diego said. "I never want to live away from you." He looked up at his father. "Are you sure Papa Diego doesn't want to live here?" "Yes, mijo. He likes it just fine where he is. Chihuahua is his heart." "And what about us?" "Chihuahua's his heart, friends, where he lives. Kind of like Baldwin Park, right? Baldwin Park is my heart." "And what about us?" "We're his heart too. How can so many things be in your heart?" "Can many things be in your heart, friends?" "Yes. Your mom, your dad, school, friends, your favorite pet, things you like, all of those can be in your heart, right? Those beautiful things we talked about, all of those beautiful things. And and if they're not here with you, if they're angels, they're still, remember that they're still in your heart. If they're not here, look at him thinking about it. He's looking outside. Okay, here's the window. This is awesome. How can so many things be in your heart? Because a heart can be a very big place. It can hold many things. Oh, little Diego smiled, but he wasn't really happy. He wanted to live with Papa Diego. Oh, sorry. He wanted to live with Papa Diego. He imagined that they would talk and laugh and be best friends. When you love someone, he thought, you could tell each other secrets and keep those secrets in the deepest part of you. He imagined himself talking to Papa Diego, telling him everything he felt, showing him everything he had hidden in his box he kept under his bed. And he imagined that Papa Diego telling him about all the things he kept in his box under his bed. He even practices Spanish every day just in case his Papa Diego decided to come and visit. He wanted to be ready. One day, Diego's father gave him his old collection of Superman comics. "What are these?" Diego asked his dad. "Mijo, they're my old comics." Comics are books, kind of like cartoons. And his dad gave him his of Superman. I was going to wear my Superman shirt. I couldn't find it. Diego, who only vaguely knew about Superman, was a little surprised by his dad's gift. He looked at the old comics suspiciously, then up at his dad. "Was he your hero?" His father nodded. "Yes, mijo, he was a big hero. When I was a little boy, I spoke no English. None, not a word." Friends, do you remember we talked about heroes? We talked about heroes and we said heroes are what? Brave and strong. Do they have to be physically strong? No. They have to be strong in their mind, strong in their heart, strong in their body. Heroes are brave and strong. We have a lot of heroes right now, friends. We have nurses, we have doctors, we have police officers, we have firefighters, Our moms and dads are heroes. Remember, they're on our list. They're our number one heroes right now. They are brave and strong. They are helping you learn, and they are doing it, friends. And I'm very proud of all of them. Um, Dr. Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez was a hero also. And then my own personal hero, besides my parents and our police officers, is who? Mr. Legaspi. That's right. He's my hero, my life hero. He said, I didn't even speak a word of English. I only knew Spanish. But my uncle started giving me these comic books. And little by little, I began to read them. It took me a long time to learn to read English. I had to work hard, but I love Superman. His dad laughed. Dieguito smiled at his dad. Then he stared at the man in the cape on the cover of the comic page. He asked, how come you liked him? He could fly. Really? Diego's father smiled at him. Yes, of course. He could fly. He could. He stopped in mid sentence. Just read them, he said. Just read them. So Diego was excited because Superman, the superhero, could fly. That's Dieguito. Look at the buildings, how they're small. See the little river? See how the color is brown and green? That's the world. Look at. What do you think this white part is? Look at him with his cape. Remember, we wore capes. Remember our cape in the classroom? Yeah, I have that cape there still. I can't read very well, Papa. Well, give it a try. Little by little, the pictures will help you just like they helped me. Remember what he said. Try to read little by little. The pictures will help you. Same thing in your reading. Same thing in your reading. After that day, little Diego became enchanted, excited with his father's old comics. He would read them, stumble over the words, and then read them again. He wondered what his PapaDiego would think of Superman. His big sister Gabriela began to complain to their mother. All he does is come back from school and read those dumb old comic books. No one even reads that stuff anymore. Ay, mija, her mom said softly. He's not hurting anybody. And besides, he's learning to read. Let him read his comics. But no one knew what little Diego was dreaming when he read about the man of steel who could fly over all those buildings in the world. No one. Every evening before he went to bed, Diego imagined himself changing into a Superman suit and flying to see PapaDiego. If all I could only get, if I could only get a Superman suit. If I could only get a Superman suit, then if I could only get a Superman suit, then I could be like Clark Kent and fly over the borders to Chihuahua and see my PapaDiego. I could see him every day after school and be home in time for dinner. Diego's mother sang softly to herself as she peeled the roasted green chiles. This will make some green chile rellenos, great green chile rellenos. Little Diego loved chile rellenos. No one could make them as good as his mom. He could almost taste them. He watched his mother as she checked the pot of fresh beans that were cooking on the hot stove. She turned to look at little Diego. Your birthday is in 2 weeks. Your birthday is in 2 weeks. She said, I wonder what your father will get you this year. Maybe he'll surprise you. I want a Superman suit, he immediately said. A Superman suit, his mother asked. I thought you wanted a video game. So excited. And here's mom with the green chiles. She's getting them ready. And look who's in there. His sister Gabriela's listening. She was listening, and she's not very kind. Does she look like she's being very nice? No. And look at his face. He's not very happy. He wants a Superman suit. Not a video game, Mama. Everyone wants one of those. Oh, so you want to be different? She smiled at her son. He nodded seriously. I mean, Mama, think about it. No one has a Superman suit. She wiped her hands on her apron and reached over and touched his cheek. Well, I'm sure your father will do his best. Now go and take your bath. But I want a chile relleno. You'll have to wait until dinner. His sister Gabriela, who had been listening on his conversation in the kitchen, followed little Diego to his room and began making fun of him. A Superman suit, she laughed. Now that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's not dumb, little Diego said. Just wait, you'll see. When I get my Superman suit, I'll be able to go and see Papa Diego every day. And here comes Gabriela to tell Mom. Here's Mom still cooking the chilayanos in the kitchen. You think you'll be able to fly? You think you'll be able to fly over Chihuahua once you get a Superman suit? Boy, Diego, you are dumb. Dumber than I thought. I, Diego shouted, his ears turning red with anger. Just leave me alone. Just go away. He slammed the door in his room. As soon as Gabriela finished taunting her brother, making fun of him, he walked into the kitchen and smiled at her mom, who was putting the first batch of chilereanos into the frying pan. Are you finished with your homework? Her mom asked. Gabriela blurted out, I know why Diego wants a Superman suit for his birthday. Oh, her mother asked quietly, you want to tell me about it? Gabriela rolled her eyes. Well, it's because he thinks once he gets a Superman suit, he's going to be able to fly. Oh, it's his birthday. He's going to be able to fly to Chihuahua to see Papa Diego every day. Boys are so dumb. You are not. Everyone is smart. His sister's mean. Be patient with him, his mother said. He's just a little boy who loves his grandfather. Some boys don't care anything about their grandfathers. Your brother is very special. And so's Michael. He loved his grandpa, right, friends? She paused for a moment, and besides, he might get his birthday wish. You never know. If you say so, Mama, but he'll never fly, Gabriela said. Never. On the morning of his birthday, little Diego woke up to the sound of singing. He opened his eyes and smiled when he saw his mother and his sister Gabriela singing Las Mañanitas as his father played the guitar. Do you remember when Miss Marisela came to the class and she sang with the girls Las Mañanitas to me, happy birthday? You remember it kind of went like this. El día que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores, and their voices were singing in Spanish, and the sound of the guitar made him happy. But they also made him a little sad because it made him think of his Papa Diego, who was far away. When everyone had finished singing, he hugged all of them. His mother led him into the kitchen where they drank a special champurrado, which is kind of like hot chocolate. It's just delicious. She had made him just for the occasion, along with little Diego's favorite cookies, which are mine, some of my favorite cookies, bizcochos, which we call bizcochitos in New Mexico. Teresa makes them. I love bizcochos, little Diego said. I made them just for you, his mother said. They're the best. Little Diego was so happy he turned to his father and said, isn't it time for you to tell me the story of how I was born? Little Diego's father rubbed little Diego's head and he said, like it was a magic lamp. Yes, it is time, he said. You see, it was very early in the morning and it was really cold outside. It was still dark when your mother woke me up. There's a knock at the door, she said. Who could that be knocking at the door at this hour of the morning? It's not even light yet. I rushed to the door, and when I opened it, there was your Papa Diego. This is when he was born. He came that day. Here's little Diego when he was born. Papa Diego was so happy and laughing as he gave me one of his big hugs. I asked him, what are you doing in El Paso, Texas? He told me that he had a dream that you were going to be born that day and that you looked like an angel. So he just had to come and see for himself. As soon as he spoke, your mom yelled, and it was time for you to be born. We drove to the hospital, and 2 hours later, you came into the world, and you were just perfect. And where was I? Gabriela wanted to know. Oh, you and Papa Diego were together. He held you in his arms the whole time that we were in the hospital. And you were a perfect angel too, just as perfect as your newborn brother. Diego liked learning and hearing the story of his birth. He looked at his mama. Do I have to go to school? Of course you have to go to school. But when you get home, I'll have a special meal all ready for you and some birthday cake. And maybe, she said, I don't want to ruin your surprise. We're almost done, friends. We're going to cut it a little short today because of our story. His father winked at him. Diego laughed and reluctantly got ready to go to school. As he and Gabriela walked out the door, he kept thinking about the presents he might get when he returned home that night. But he would get, maybe he would get a Superman suit. He imagined flying over the border to Chihuahua to visit Papa Diego. His sister interrupted his thoughts and said, I know what you're thinking. No, you don't. Yes, you do. You're thinking about that dumb Superman suit. Get a life, Diego. Why do you have to be so mean to me on my birthday, Gabriela? Why do you have to be mean anytime, Gabriela? Remember, be respectful. I'm not being mean, Diego. I just think you should get real. Just wait till your birthday, he said. Then he stuck his tongue at her. Was he being very kind? No, he was not being very kind either. Look what it looks like he got. After school, little Diego made his sister run home with him. Why do we have to run? She said, because it's my birthday. Little Diego yelled, but Gabriela knew he was just in a hurry to get home to see if he had gotten his silly Superman suit. Little Diego ran into the house and his mom showed him the cake she had baked for him. It looks great, Mama, he said. He could hardly wait to blow out the candles and eat it. His eyes fell on a box that was wrapped in red paper with a big blue ribbon. Can I open it? When your father gets home, little Diego thought his dad would never come home. Finally, when he's almost given up, his dad walked in the door. Now can I open it? Yes, now you can open it. Little Diego grabbed the box and ripped it open and pulled out the Superman suit he had been praying for. I got it, he said. I got it. Holding it. Yes. The sky at the back. Look at his face. Oh, put it on. Uh-oh. Without even waiting a second, he ran into his room and ripped off his clothes and changed into a Superman suit. He knew that the cape he was wearing was better than the wings of a bird. He ran into the kitchen where his dad and sister were sitting at the table and said, I'm going to fly. Just watch. I'm going to fly. He ran outside and kept and leapt and leaped, like jumped, grabbed up. He leaped into the air. He was certain he would be in Papa Diego's in a matter of minutes, but instead flying, he fell hard onto the ground. I can't fly, he cried. It's not fair. I can't fly. He got up off the ground, ran to his room, and threw his Superman suit into the trash can. His dad picked him up. I just wanted to go see my Papa Diego, he said. I just wanted to see him. That's okay, mijo, his dad said. I'll tell you what. Why don't you go into the kitchen and serve yourself some champurrado? We have some leftovers from this morning. Your mother always says that champurrado helps you speak Spanish. Doesn't she always say that? And it always makes you feel warm inside. I don't want any champurrado, he said. Ay, mijito, I promise if you go into the kitchen and get some champurrado, you're going to feel better. I promise. He said, I promise. And after that, we could have some flautas with guacamole. It's your favorite. Your mother made them just for you. I'm not hungry anymore. Right. But you have to eat something if you're going to have cake. Little Diego wiped away his tears. Okay, he said softly, though he did not believe anything his dad was saying. When his father left the room, he put on his normal clothes and stared at the useless Superman suit, and then walked slowly toward the kitchen. What an awful birthday, he said to himself. But when he reached the door of the kitchen, he saw a familiar figure sitting at the table. He could not believe what he was seeing. Papa Diego, he yelled. Papa Diego, you came to visit. Yeah. Of course I did. Seguro que sí. I wanted to see my Dieguito. Diego ran to the side and jumped into the old man's lap. Papa Diego, you're what I wanted. You're what I wanted for my birthday. See me, oh yes, I know. Did you fly here? No, mijito. I did not know how to fly. I came here on the bus. On a bus? But Dad said you would never come visit because it's far and you're old and it's sometimes hard to cross the border. Mijito, he said quietly, tonight Chihuahua is not so far, and I don't feel so old. And it's very easy to cross the border. A border is nothing for people who love. Diego laughed. He wasn't really sure of what his PapaDiego was saying, but it didn't matter. He got up off his PapaDiego's lap and served them both some champurrado. He is so happy. His grandpa is there. Get the beautiful cake. Here they are in the kitchen. Everyone sat at the kitchen table and talked and laughed and ate, and everyone was happy, even Gabriela. Little Diego knew he would remember this day for as long as he lived. He looked at his PapaDiego and kissed him on the cheek. Maybe they would always live in different countries, but tonight they lived in the same house. He felt as warm as the burning candles on his cake. He felt warm and happy. And that's the end of our story. And I'm so happy I got to read it to you, friends. And I'm glad we got to read another story by Mr. Benjamin, who wrote Grandma Fina's Umbrellas. And I'm glad that we got to see the pictures. And I'm glad we got to hear about PapaDiego. And I'm glad I got to read it for my Michael Paul Reyes Jr. And I'll let him know. Friends, I went a little over with the story. The only thing I want to remind you before we sign off, and thank you those that have been hanging out with me and staying with me. The only thing I want to remind you on the math, you can get that through Connect Ed, the pages. You can also remember we're on chapter 11, and they're talking about the shapes and the patterns. What they're going to do is they're going to be giving you, really quick, friends, the position of things. And I drew some pictures to help us. So in math, we're talking about position. The flowers are next to the tree. The bird is above the tree. The tree is below the bird. The sun is above the tree. The tree is below the sun. Can you show me above? Above. Can you show me below? Below. What about next to? What's next to you? My phone is next to me. Next to me. Good job. Next to me. We have, here we have a little girl, and she's in front of a television. I'm sorry, she's behind. She's behind the television. The television is in front of her. In front of me is my paper. I am behind the paper. I am behind the paper. The marker is in front of me. I am behind the marker. Above, below, next to. We know under. We know in front of and behind. And those are some of our words in our math. And the last thing is they're talking about patterns. And patterns are repeating, and we know that. So if you have a circle, square, circle, square, circle, square. Oops, sorry. Circle, square, circle, square, circle, square. Next would be a what? A circle. Next would be a square. So they want you to copy those patterns and their position of where they are. Please also try to go on to the links that we put on for the math games, the tangrams, actually using those. I tried them yesterday and I really enjoyed them. So they're really great things. I want to thank you for allowing me to talk to you guys today. Thank you. I hope that we didn't take too much of your time. We'll get a little bit longer as it becomes more of a lessons. I will try to really focus on the math if we can. Please remember to keep counting your numbers. Remember, you can begin at 28, 29, 30, 31. If you're writing the numbers, you can do it like that. Moms and dads, remember, have them writing the numbers and then continuing. They don't always have to start at 1. You could start with 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10 of them, and then come down here. Just like we do on the 10 frame, but start with 15 and keep going. Remember to keep counting your numbers. Remember to practice your numbers. That's something else that you could be doing. When I go outside and do my chalk art, friends, and I've done a little chalk art, a lot of chalk art outside, you could be doing that with chalk, writing it, or with a marker or paper. Please remember to send me your addresses. Thank you. Please remember to show me your work. And remember, if your attendance here is necessary, you need to check in with me, or they will be making a phone call just to touch base with you. Also, as soon as we log off, please remember to, if you need to, sign up for a Chromebook, which is a computer, and you could pick up on Thursday. They will not release any if you have not signed up. Remember, you can go to walnuteagles.net to do that. All of the links are under distance learning. Quiero dar las gracias a todos que vinieron. Thank you to everybody. I'm sorry I got a little sad about my Michael, but his grandpa was a great grandpa. He was a great man. So I am very sad. So please, boys and girls, I don't want anybody to feel that sad that Michael's feeling right now about his grandpa. So please take care of yourself. Please stay indoors. If you have any questions, if you need to talk to me, call me, text me, email me. It doesn't matter. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, okay? And thank you so much for sending me the pictures, sending me the videos. I might send you another one tomorrow if I remember something. Okay? I hope I'm not bothering you, and I hope everything's great. And I hope to see you soon. I love you, love you, love you. Be great. Be great. Be great, because you are. Love you.